Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, we have an eye-opening topic that many people don't realize the depth of. The worst thing you can do is not understanding the pain that people who have been abused by narcissists hide behind their clutter. Here are 10 shocking reasons why it's hard to get rid of the mess that narcissistic abuse causes. First, let's talk about it. Attachment to feelings. Have you ever thought about how some people just can't get rid of their stuff? These things may be more important than you think to people who are abused by narcissists. These things aren't just random things, they're mental lifelines. In a world full of pain and chaos, these things become reminders of better times, little islands of happiness in a rough sea of pain. Give up that support when you've been through a lot with a narcissist. It's like trying to swim without knowing which way is up. Ability to feel in charge. Have you ever felt like your life was getting out of hand? That must be awful to feel all the time, especially after being abused by a narcissist. You feel like you didn't want to be on this roller ride. Clutter gives them a way to get back on the driving wheel. It means, hey, I might not be able to control much, but this mess is mine. It's a quiet protest against all the chaos they've been through. When everything else seems to be falling apart, having some mess around can feel like a small win. These words mean I'm still here and I still have a say in my life. In their hearts, they know it's all a trick, a bandage on a much bigger wound. They hold on to their things because they want to feel in charge of their lives again, even if it's just in their crowded rooms. Fear of letting go. Have you ever thought about how some people just can't get rid of their stuff? Trying to get out of a knot that keeps getting tighter is like trying to get out of a selfish abuse victim. What the stuff stands for is just as important as the stuff itself. Imagine hanging on to things that remind you of your worst times because you're afraid that letting go will erase your past or that throwing them away will make you look careless or not grateful. As if you were stuck in mud and couldn't move because you were afraid of going deeper. They hold on, even though each thing brings back memories and makes them feel bad. They can't get out of this cycle because it keeps them stuck in a mess of pain and anxiety. Manipulation. Have you ever heard of someone who just can't let go of something? People who have been abused by narcissists say it feels like being caught in a web of trickery. Imagine being told that you need someone else's support to stay alive. That's what abusers do. They twist your thoughts until you think you're not worth anything without them. That training stays with the person even after the abuser is gone. Perhaps they are still telling you that you are not good enough in your ear. It's not just about getting rid of clutter when you get rid of things. It's also about facing your deepest fears of being useless or getting in trouble. You can't see the chains that are holding you down, but you can feel them with every choice you make. It takes more than cleaning out your room to get out of that mental prison. You have to take back your worth and change the story they tried to force on you. Identity that is broken up. Have you ever noticed that some people's mess seems to show more than just a messy room? For people who have been abused by a narcissist, their mess seems to tell a story of broken identities and lost selves. You might feel like you don't even know who you are anymore, like someone's violence has eaten away at your very core. That's what happens when someone tells you over and over again that you're not good enough or that you don't count. That feeling won't go away even after the attacker is gone. They don't just have random things in their rooms. It's a physical sign of the chaos going on in their heads. It looks like they're trying to put themselves back together one lost thing at a time. But it seems like they can never find that one piece of themselves, no matter how hard they try. Until they can get back their sense of self-worth and identity, their mess will keep showing how upset they are inside. The coping mechanism. Have you ever thought why some people keep things long after they should be thrown away? People who have been through a lot of trauma, like narcissistic abuse, collecting is more than just a bad habit, it's a way to stay alive. Now picture this, when someone who should care about you turns your world upside down, holding on to things feels like holding on to a life raft. This phrase means I may be drowning, but at least I have all these things. What do you know? For now, it seems to work. It's easy to forget about the pain that's just below the surface when you have a lot going on. What's more, that pain doesn't go away on its own. The thing waits in the dark until you're ready to face it. Your junk will keep piling up until you can face those painful feelings and memories head-on. This will keep you from seeing the truth that you're too afraid to face. Value as seen by others. Have you ever noticed how some people give seemingly everyday things a lot of meaning? Every little thing can feel like a lifesaver to someone who is abused by a narcissist. In a world that makes you feel like you're not worth anything, those things become like little jewels that show you do matter. What the stuff stands for is more important than its real value. You'd say, even though I've been treated like I'm nothing, these things prove I'm somebody. The worst part is that their stuff can never make up for the mental pain caused by being ignored or abused, no matter how much they cling to it. If you want to quench your thirst, you should drink sand. At first, it might seem like a good idea, but it makes you feel even worse afterward. Their clutter will keep piling up until they can find other ways to prove their worth. It will be a physical memory of the pain they're trying so hard to forget. Shame and guilt. Do you ever notice how things seem to pile up faster than you can blink? When someone has been abused by a narcissist, they feel shame and guilt all the time. Imagine that every lost thing makes them think of how bad they are at what they're doing, which makes them blame themselves even more and feel even worse about themselves. They keep trying to keep up with the mess, but it's like they're up against a wave that gets stronger all the time. What the mess stands for is just as important as the clutter itself. It's a physical sign of how inadequate they think they are, that they're not good enough. Instead of getting comfort from a clean place, they drown in a sea of negative thoughts about themselves and how worthless they are. Their mess will keep making them feel bad until they can break out of that loop. It's like a heavy burden they can't get rid of. Verification from outside. For people who have been constantly put down and ignored by narcissistic abusers, material things can become a source of external validation. Holding on to junk might be a subconscious way of trying to get other people to like and approve of you. The accumulation of objects can serve as a tangible reminder of their worth and achievements, offering a sense of comfort and reassurance. This behavior is often rooted in a deep-seated need for recognition and affirmation, which has been consistently denied by their abusers. By surrounding themselves with possessions, they create a buffer against the feelings of inadequacy and rejection. The items become symbols of their resilience and a means to reclaim their identity and self-worth. This attachment to material things can be a coping mechanism to fill the emotional void left by the lack of genuine human connection and validation. Not wanting to change. Have you ever tried to change something and felt like you couldn't? For people who have been abused by a narcissist, dealing with clutter is like facing their worst fears head-on. If you had to sort through piles of stuff, each item would bring up sad memories and feelings. Making your way through a minefield without knowing where the bombs are hidden is like that. What the mess stands for is just as important as the clutter itself. It's a steady reminder of the abuse they went through. It's a physical sign of their pain and suffering. To make a change, they need to do more than just clean up. They need to face their problems and take back control of their lives. But it's scary to change. It means going into the unknown, giving up habits you know, and accepting a future you can't predict. For survivors, that thought can be truly scary, making them fight back and be wary at every turn. Their clutter will keep stopping them until they find the courage to take that first step. It will be a wall between them and the freedom they so badly want. Do you like reading about narcissism? You can show your support by giving this movie a like and following this channel. Until then.
I hope everyone is having a great day. Thanks for listening. We're going to talk about an interesting subject today, the moment a narcissist understands how much they've lost. Think about that for a moment, and if you like what we write, please think about joining. This talk is mostly about when a narcissist finally realizes how much they valued you. We're talking about the great love and support you gave, which we often called grade A supply in our talks. They usually have this awakening when they learn that the person they're with now isn't as good as the one they had with you. For our regular watchers, it's important to know that you were grade A supply, but now you're just thinking about yourself, which is a big deal. Narcissists might be thinking about the things they did and decided in the past. They could be using hoovering to try to get back together, or they could be sad about losing someone truly special, you. If you've ever given someone more than one chance before seeing their real colors, good for you. You're now on the path to empowerment and growth. No matter what time of day or night it is, narcissists might think about the good times they had with you. You could be the one who got away and the good thing in their lives. You always loved and supported them and worked to keep the relationship strong, even when things got hard. You kept giving because you thought things would work out. It's too bad that the narcissist took advantage of your generosity, honesty, and desire to help others. They used your love, compassion, and dedication to the relationship against you. You kept putting more of yourself into it because you loved them or cared about them and couldn't give up on them because your heart is so big. This shows how these kinds of relationships can slowly drain your kindness and spirit. It also shows how strong you are and how much you can love even when things are hard. Your willingness to love and give so much, which is like the world itself, isn't a weakness. It shows how strong and kind you are. In this story, you either said enough and decided it was time to move on, or you were let go, which forced you to go through hard times. Being with a narcissist who didn't care about you and even wanted to hurt you was part of this process. The main point of the story is how the narcissist comes to understand what they did. They will if they haven't already. They'll tell themselves, I had something truly special and wonderful, and I messed it up, just like I do with all my other relationships and friendships. I hurt everyone I meet and leave ruin in my wake. In this relationship with you, I lost the best thing I'll ever have. Most likely, you really get this, especially since you're here to learn and understand. You might be thinking if I mean that the narcissist feels bad about what they do every day. That's not true. They're busy lying, hurting people, and controlling those around them in order to feel accepted by others. But there are times when they think, even if they are only for a moment. I've already talked about how when I tried to spend valuable time with the narcissist, they were glued to 3 phones and barely acknowledged me, saying, go ahead, I'm listening. Those times weren't about spending valuable time. You may have had similar experiences, or you may be new to this site. The point is that the narcissist might remember you or me one day, even if they are with someone else in a different setting. This makes them realize that they lost something precious, something real and special with you, even though they aren't aware of it yet. You start to understand not only the loss but also the power inside you to move on as you learn more about yourself, maybe through videos like these. Today's topic isn't just about romantic partnerships. It has to do with knowing a basic trait of narcissists. They are always trying to get something they can never get. They're never happy and always want more to fill the hole they feel. You might find yourself nodding along as you watch because you know what is being said. At this point, you can see the bigger picture and say, yes, this all makes sense. The path you took after being in a narcissistic relationship wasn't about focusing on what you lost. Instead, you turned your attention inward and spent time healing, learning, growing, and most of all understanding. We've looked deeply into our pasts and seen the lies behind the relationships we were in. We're also aware of how narcissism affects many parts of our lives. It doesn't just happen in relationships. It could happen at work, with a boss, or even with a neighbor who keeps playing loud music late at night. Narcissists get to know us on many levels and then attack us. Narcissists think about the one who got away from them from time to time. Yes, they will think about it, even if they haven't done it yet. They might even try to get back into your life by using different methods to do so. But now that more time has passed and you know a lot more about narcissism, things are different. Because of what you've been through, you've learned some of their tricks and can see through their act to find that they are a wimp and a bully. This journey of becoming more aware has a turning point. There is no going back once you've seen what you were really dealing with. The things you've learned and done have made you better and more knowledgeable. This newfound strength isn't just about getting past narcissists. It's about changing how you see and deal with relationships in every part of your life. It's likely that you felt like a target when you were with a narcissist. You may have been picked on, abused, or manipulated. You may have even made a trauma bond, which is hard to break, whether it was in a romantic relationship or with your family. Despite that, these events have given you deep insights. You have a clear picture of how your past relationships worked because you have learned so much about them. This new idea is like a secret tool for you. Using what's called a gray rock method, it helps you quickly judge people to see if you can trust them, spend time with them, or leave them behind with little interaction. This is your plan now. You didn't have this much power when you were in that selfish relationship. You were smart and kind, but you might have been a little foolish when you thought most people were as good as you were. That's not always true though. A lot of people use other people to advance in their careers, show off their homes, or do better in their jobs as parents or teachers. You used to think that everyone wanted to be fair and work together, but the truth is that they don't and probably never will. Though it took me a while to understand this, I now have a different view of things. You can't go back after seeing these facts. Use this information carefully to protect yourself, set clear boundaries, and be selective about who you let close. You owe it to yourself, your community, and the people you care about. A lot more valuable than gold, money, houses, or fancy things, time is the most valuable thing we have. It makes a huge difference in your life how you spend your time. Whenever you were with a narcissist, you probably spent most of your days doing what they wanted. You may have thought your relationship was healthy and fair, but now that you look back, you were unintentionally giving in to all of their wants until it became clear that it couldn't last. You have the power to stop history from happening again now that you understand it better. You were in charge of your life before you met a narcissist. You did things your own way and at your own pace, and you loved being free. Everything changed when the narcissist entered your life. All of a sudden, you felt like you were an extension of them, their protector, bill payer, sounding board, and constant friend. What did you get in return for all the hard work and generosity you showed? More bad treatment. They used gaslighting to control you, ignored your needs, and worst of all, used other people in a damaging way to control you. This is called triangulation, and it hurts your trust and sense of safety. You didn't fully understand how bad things were at the time, but now that you look back, you can't deny the truth you found. Now that you know this, it's your job to keep yourself safe, move forward, and tell others what you've learned. This is how we grow and heal. You might be wondering if the narcissist ever thinks about the person who left them. Does it ever cross their minds, that person was truly exceptional, just what I needed? Of course. As I already said, you were their first choice and the best way for them to be happy. It's important to remember though, that we're not goods. We are people with unique traits and bright moods. We're not just things that should be used up and thrown away like old, worn-out clothes. We are now starting a new chapter in our lives, ending a chapter on the past, and going forward with new knowledge gained from our mistakes. We're changing, getting better, and maybe even telling other people about our trip. The past is still an important part of our story. It's where we faced problems and got better. It's important to remember and respect what we've been through. We shouldn't dwell on it too much, but instead should let it guide us forward and show us how far we've come. There is a special group of people in the world like us who have been through hard times and know what it takes to be here watching this video together. It's not a path everyone can take, and some people will not make it through these tests. It's true, even though it hurts to say it. Some people aren't strong enough to learn new things, gain new insights, or accept change. They might choose to ignore the truth because it makes them feel better than having to face hard facts. But there are others like us who have picked a different path. We want to learn more, keep getting better, and teach others what we know. Each of us is here for a different reason, but you're here today to heal and understand. Let's talk about narcissists. A lot of the time, they'll look back and see that you were the one who got away. But before we go, let's be clear, This isn't about being sad about what narcissists lose. We're past those times. This video is about taking charge of our lives, seeing how strong we are, and going forward. Unfortunately, the person who hurt us, lied to us, and maybe even broke up with us didn't know that they were changing us. The people who did what they did didn't realize that it would make us stronger and more capable, almost like superheroes. Being aware of this gives you a huge duty and an amazing strength. As this video comes to a close, I hope you learned something from it. I hope this message finds you well and that your day is full of beauty and good things. I love all of you. Know that every day you get stronger and keep shining brightly. Take your time if you're hurting from being turned down or beginning to understand that you're with a narcissist. Things are going to get better. If you found this video interesting, please like it, leave a comment with your thoughts, share it with people you think might benefit, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos. Your help is very important to me, and I hope that we can continue to grow and help others understand and heal.